Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay. All right. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to Dumb SEO Questions, episode 197. Each week we meet here to answer the questions asked on the SEO Questions community on Google+. Also on our Facebook page, Dumb SEO Questions, and also via Twitter if you wish, at Dumb SEO QS. All right, with us tonight we have Masataki Wasa. Masataki is webmaster of wasaweb.net in the UK. He's also a Google top contributor on the AdSense community and a prolific translator from German to Japanese, English to German, or, I hope I've got a couple of them right, Masataki. Micah Fisher-Kirshner, a regular speaker on the SEO speaking circuit. He's also the senior SEO manager for Zendesk.com in the USA. And Micah lives on the west coast of the USA. Tim Capper, still living in the UK at this point. Tim Capper is CEO of OnlineOwnership.com. He's a conversion rate optimization specialist and proud to call himself an SEO. He's also a Google top contributor on the Google My Business community. A top contributor on the Google Web Search community is William Rock. William Rock is a TC. Yeah, that's right. There, he lives in Kansas. Oh, gee, I tell you what, I know I've got that right. All right, our first question tonight is on ranking fluctuations from Atish Hamad. I think Atish might be overthinking it a little bit. He's said ranking fluctuations on an hourly basis. Atish said, "Hi guys, running a Magento e-commerce website on Amazon Web Services. Now I know rankings can fluctuate on a monthly and at times on a daily basis, with all the possible factors like algorithm updates, on-page changes, a number of backlinks, etc. But the keywords of this Magento website, version 1.9, are fluctuating hourly and daily. I've been seeing this activity for the last 3 months. The target is Google India. There are keywords with volume ranging from 3,000 to 50,000 plus. The keywords rank in the range of 80 to 200 plus positions. Later in the evening, within the top 20 positions. Can any of you guys tell me why this is happening and suggest possible solutions?
Well, that can be pretty normal. Rankings will fluctuate even within the hour. As you search, if you're doing it manually, basically that can change due to personalization. You're switching between browsers. There are certain terms as well that if you search for, they're more likely to be changed throughout the day. Google's a consistent testing, so an hourly change is not necessarily an implication of the site is broken. Different tools can give you a bit more of an idea. I guess kind of might be interesting is if you checked this before. What was it, Magento 1.9? If this was a common theme, just to see if that might be actually an issue or just something that you haven't noticed until recently. I'm not sure. You know, might be interesting to see if you can find the patterns on keywords, not necessarily by volume or rank positions, but 80 to 200. Yeah, once you're past page like first few pages, those rankings can fluctuate quite dramatically too. So really, I'd be focusing on keywords that are in the first 2 pages if you're concerned about ranking fluctuations. Yeah, if keyword ranking 80 to 200 plus positions, I would not. I mean, I wouldn't even be looking that deep and caring about ranking changes that far down. So those are, that's a whole other story for keywords that are deep into good search results.
Thank you, Micah. Would anybody like to add to that? If you can find something that Micah missed, I don't think so. All right, Atish, I hope that is useful for you. We will move on to the next. This one from Mike Cook. What is the best method for redirecting? Okay, Mike said, I have an interesting one. I have a website running with good authority score and I wish to add a blog to the site. However, because of constraints, it has to be on a separate server. What is the best method for redirecting so that it looks seamless? Also, I cannot use a subdomain. For example, mywebsite.com/myblog. My blog is on a separate server from the mywebsite.com and I cannot use a subdomain.
I rather like Edwin's response. Just move your main domain over to the other server.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking maybe doing HT access, but even that he doesn't have control of that. So. Well, he might.
Yeah, sometimes the simplest solution is actually the simplest and best way forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how hard it would be to move it over to the new server and then have more control and then create that subdomain, not subdomain, but basically for a blog.
Have you guys ever used COAL? C-O-A-L?
Yes, mate. About in the 1940s, we did.
You mean the black one? Okay, all right. Okay, Mike, I'm going to call this one answered, and thank you for your question. And next is from Carol Soja on historical data for keyword search volume. He wants to know if you know any way to check historical data for keyword search volume 4 years back.
Well, SEMrush is noted in there. That would be my normal way of checking for that data that far back. But since you've already checked, since you're looking for Poland, I don't know if any other tools have it that far back for specific countries. But hopefully, yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, hopefully the US will be sufficient enough for what you need. And that's the nice part is that SEO Rush does have that, but I don't know if any of you else here know tools that kind of collect that data and store it over a long time beyond SEO Rush. What it means.
Maybe Raven. Raven might actually do that. I'm not quite sure. I know Majestic has a pretty large database, but I don't think that's focused on keywords. It's more backlinks.
Yeah, they don't have the volume in Majestic.
But I go to, and it was notated in the comments here, but SEMrush Guru is fantastic. If you just go into the overview report, you can start to see that trend line history of when the domain was started all the way to current.
Yeah, I wonder how with the recent change in keyword planner, I wonder how that's going to affect their system. Just showing how the numbers change too is going to be.
That's going to be an interesting shift for them.
Not happy about that one. Yeah. The thing is like they're gonna have to break it. The only way to figure that stuff out is gonna have to go back and forth between planner and trends. It's gonna be a real pain.
Although Planner has gotten pretty good these days with the segmentation of the basic keyword that you're looking for and giving you a broader scope of. Whereas SEMrush is kind of hit and miss these days. So it might actually be because of the changes too. Don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no. But I mean more of just like trying to figure out which is the right term to use because they're merging it together and what's the volume difference. It's going to have to like actually pull two different sources and understand what the actual volume is.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Micah. And I also should thank sincerely Siraj Gadagay. I see he yet again this week he's been answering questions on our SEO Questions community in Google+. All right. Let me tweak this and I'll move on to the next. This one from Greg Christan. Greg asked a question titled, Stopping Google and Bing from Indexing. He said, I have a site with internal search. I've noticed the internal search URL will change to a parameter once a user types in something because it is dynamically created. In terms of stopping Google and Bing from indexing this content, should my robot's text look like this? And he's stipulated disallow :/search/ and the question mark, or disallow :/search/ a question mark asterisk. Thanks.
So this may seem a little bit like semantics, but it actually does make a difference. The robots.txt file will not stop Google from indexing. It will stop Google from crawling. But if you're looking to get Google Doc to index, as in put it into this search index, you need to have a no-index tag on the specific pages in order to make sure that they don't index it. It's a different thing entirely if you just on that. So basically what that means is Google may not be able to crawl the page by having it in robots.txt, but if somebody links, a lot of people just say links to a specific search page of yours, Google will show that this page, they can't pull up the information or it's been blocked by robots.txt. Hence it's in the index because other people are saying it's interesting and Google's like, well, we'll still try to include it anyway. So just be aware of that type of difference and understanding that if you're looking to not have it indexed, then you need to have a no index on those search pages.
Normally, on a normal CMS, you should be able to go and edit that individual file and put that no index in that for the internal search page.
All right. Greg Christan, I hope that covers it for you. Here's one from Baba Pavan Kumar Anantha. In a question titled "Blog New Posts Are Not Appearing in the Google Search Engine Results page," Baba said, "Hi, I have an issue with my blog. Not only my blog, so many other bloggers are also having this issue. Can anyone help me with this?"
Well, there'd be quite a few different possibilities there. I guess we don't know what the domain is.
No.
Well, I'd be curious if he's actually running Search Console, and then he can go and do the filter by pages versus by query, and also see if those are being picked up by Search Console. If not, then I'm curious if it's basically maybe a no index or invisible somehow, the robot.
Yeah, do a fetch and render on the individual page.
Mm-hmm.
See what Search Console tells you. When you say it's not appearing, is it not appearing for the entire title, or are you just assuming it's not appearing for a particular keyword that you wanted to, you were hoping to actually appear for? Take the first, has it been cached? Even just check if it's been cached. If it's been cached and it's not appearing, well then it's a situation where Google probably doesn't feel it's going to benefit a user for something that there's quite a few questions there. Firstly, see if it's cached. If it's not cached, check with Search Console, do a fetch and render, and then work through the problem there. But assuming it is cached and indexed, then is it searching for the full actual title of the post, or are you just assuming on a particular keyword? So that's the next question. If it's not appearing for the full title of the post, but it is cached and indexed, well, I don't see how that's quite possible. You already say that it's unique content. Fine. Okay, then that's sort of that one ticked off. Yeah. So there's a few things to have a look at, and then make a decision. Is that it? I'm just looking at your the name there. Wow, the username. Yeah, that's quite a mouthful.
You might think Tim Capper's a bit odd too.
Yeah, I am odd, mate.
He doesn't realise it's an abbreviation of Tim Kaporowski.
You're such a dick.
Wow, that was such a setup.
I think the last suggestion I would probably offer him would be, run it through the free version of SEMrush. Actually, you can't do the free. You can run it through it, but basically what I was going for is the site audit tool. But that's not free. So basically, I think you have a free trial, though. It's like a 2-week trial.
Yeah, I think, but yeah. Is the page cached?
Yeah.
So can Google actually find it? If it's not, then fetch and render in Search Console.
Yeah, fetch and render.
That will give you that will give you a lot of information at the bottom of the page if you've inadvertently no indexed it or robots TXT'd. That will just give you a lot more of a starting point. If it is cached, then it will be appearing for the full title of if you search the full title. But I'm assuming when he says this, I'm guessing he maybe means maybe not appearing particularly well for a keyword that he thought he was trying to target. You know, if that's the case, you need to up the game.
Okay. All right, Baba, Pavan, Kumar, Anantha, I think that's your lot for tonight. I must also point out Kyle Hawke answered your question tonight, and we thank Kyle for his kind words on the SEO Questions community this week. Thank you. Apparently, Kyle listens to our weekly broadcasts at work. And we thank you. Your interest in what we do makes what we do worthwhile. All right, let me tweet that, and we'll move on. Martin Norgard asks a question, do numbers in domain names hurt my ranking? He said, I have a number in my domain name. Do numbers in domain names hurt my ranking possibilities? Is it, for example, harder to rank sport247.com than mysport.com?
No.
Yeah, I'm not aware of anything either. Not on its own, at least.
It's kind of like
if mysport.com has got 5 crappy little pages, Sport247 is a awesome site that gives me all my sporting fixtures for the next month. It gives me information on the teams. It gives me, I mean, we're talking beautifully designed information galore. Anything I want to know about sport is there. The simple thing is my sport, you're never going to find it in the search results, where Sports 247 is going to be slap bang in your face #1.
Yeah.
Forget about domains. Concentrate on your site.
Yeah, and it's not just that; it's also the branding part of it too. So just having a number in it isn't bad. Now, if it's like a string of numbers, or it comes off as kind of a spammy way to put in that, it might be a slight distraction. But I think Tim's main point is spot on.
I think we've got a bloody casino site here in the UK. I think it's 888.com or something. Freaking hell, it turned over something like £1 billion last year. Numbers don't matter. It's your branding, it's your marketing, it's your content, it's your site, it's your users, you know.
Well, that part of it actually might be their branding. They might have recognized that 888 is geared towards a certain demographic or certain type of gamblers in general. So they might have leveraged it in an actual positive way.
I'm surprised you haven't mentioned, Mike, you would know, but 888, like 8 is a lucky number in the Chinese language.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what kind of gamblers there are in the UK, so I didn't want to make any direct implications there.
Well, 17
in the US
million
for sure.
17 million definitely are gamblers. 16 million.
I mean, in that case, 8 is considered to be a lucky number, and so doing something like 888 is going to be targeted for that specific group.
Yeah, and I recommend looking at, for this person is, type in exact match domain You'll get a lot of good articles about why it's not really important anymore. So it goes back to Tim and Micah's, comments where it's quality over quantity, or where it used to be, I could actually have used cars 1, 2, 3 or something like that. And at that one time, we were ranking for that, or people were outranking everybody else. It doesn't work like that much anymore.
One thing that you might just want to avoid is using a year. So adding 2016, for example, to your domain name. I'm sure we've all come across something that they've added a year in their domain name, and then New Year starts.
Yes.
And suddenly it doesn't look too clever. So that's just one thing.
And your copyright at the bottom of your website. I'm still seeing things like I'll be looking at someone's site and I'm like, copyright at the bottom 2012. I'm like, okay, we might want to update that.
Yeah, and like a tip for Martin would be for the English market anyway. If you could find something anywhere where the Poms have won something, particularly in football, because right now the English will go anywhere to find a page where they've won something.
Low blow, low blow.
Yeah, good. And surprise, surprise, I'd say I don't get this game of football, or puffball as I like to call it, because they're blaming the manager again. It's just, they always blame the manager. Not the, I think, what's watching the thing? I think the team on the ground that played the game was worth 500 and something million running around the field, right? But they blame the pissy manager who only got paid 3 million. Yeah, for sure, there's game plays and strategies and that, but you would think if you were, you had 500 million worth of something running around the field, that 500 million could actually maybe have a little bit of skill, could do something. Do you know what I mean? I love the way they always blame the manager.
All right. Okay, Martin, I hope you find that useful. We'll move on to the next. Your Micah Fisher-Kirshner is leaving us. Safe journey to work, Micah.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Here's one. I'm a great believer in site owners sending their checks and staying away. I counsel all of my clients that the best thing they can do for themselves is just back off and stop annoying us. But anyway, here's one from Edisham Sheikh, who has another difficult client. Edisham said, "Hi all, a stupid requirement for my client. My client has an e-commerce website, single page, and has asked me to rank for queries like car battery, bike battery, inverter battery, marine battery, and so on. I've told him that it is not possible in a single page to rank those keywords, but still he wants to do it because someone else told him. Everybody has a friend. I just want to know, is it possible or has even the slightest chance to target such queries on a single page website? Thanks."
I'm a little bit unsure on where, for example, the product would be. Like if somebody clicked on the product for car batteries, does the product not even have its own page? I mean, I don't get how it's a single page.
Could be like a Wix site with hashbangs all down the page.
Yeah, but even a product, how could they check out then? How could they check out that specific product?
Oh, you mean to sell it and check out?
Yeah, if it's an e-com site, literally you've got to purchase a product. How can you click on the product, view the product, and then purchase it? I mean, how, if it's one or single page, how would it even?
Well, technically, it could be done. And you
Yeah,
could have Ajax for a shopping cart at the bottom of the page, and
okay. So let's say he's got, okay, I mean, so what's he got? 5 products then? I mean, he's not going to have 50 products. How big is this freaking page? Anyway, so forget that. I mean, look, I think you really need to sit down with a client.
and bash him,
And, hey?
and bash him.
Yeah. So,
Grab him by the ears and shake him.
yeah, I mean, you really need to explain this to your client that, I mean, okay, so how are you going to show your client? So, I don't know what, if any particular tools that you use, for example, but take the 5 or 6 keywords he's like wants to rank for, and just do kind of a difficulty sort of comparison in terms of the top 5 sites that are ranking for it, the size of the sites, the equity of the domains, how many products they've got in there, you know, etc., etc., etc. Do they have a blog attached to it? Are they providing different categorized content for those particular batteries, etc., etc.? Then go to the client and say, right, you've got a one-pager. Now you want to compete. These are your 5. Those are the 5 keywords. These are the top 5 sites that are ranking for those. This is what those sites are doing. Now you want to condense all of that, take all of that into a single page. It's not possible. I just don't ever see how you would have enough. I mean, yeah, if you were a major brand, okay, and this would be the difference. If you were a major brand, I'm talking spending, I don't know, 20 million a year. I mean, on advertising, I'm talking that everyone knows you. So, like, let's say, for example, Nike, okay. If you were a known brand like that, you could get away with one crappy page because you are the only one. Every single person in the flaming world knows you, and you know you have a particular brand, a particular product. You know, so shoes, Nike shoes, running shoes. They may not rank for like running shoes, but they would appear somewhere. But I mean, you know. In all honesty, I would seriously just create a bit of a quick comparison, go to your, go back to the client. And in all honesty, if the client is so hell-bent on that, then I really don't think this client's a match for you. I really, really don't think. Because you're never going to be able to, if he can't see it and you can't show it to him, then there is just going to be, there's never going to be any, deliverables there at all for him. And, ultimately, I don't know whether it be 6 months down the line, he's going to say, forget it. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of a winning, you're not going to win with a guy like that unless you can, physically show him that it's just not going to happen.
See, Masataki had a suggestion in the chat there, Tim.
Yeah.
Okay, Edison Shake, we feel for you, mate. We've all been there. But yes, I agree with Tim. You've got to take this guy, sit him down quietly and explain to him that he can't expect you to get in the ring with both gloves handcuffed behind your back.
Yeah, you know, show the thing. If the guy's not willing to listen, you know what? It's just going to end in tears. Then obviously we all need a bit of a paycheck. So obviously then, so what? Bullshit him for a month and just say, look, yeah, we'll sort the site out, but after that, you're really you're gonna need to take it on with someone else or whatever the case may be. But it's going to end in tears. So maybe get a site audit fee out of it from him, and then move on, mate.
All right, Edisham Sheikh, good luck, mate, and thank you for your question. Here's one from Alexander Dross on the URL structure for countries with several languages. I'm not going to read all of these out, but they can be seen on the SEO Questions community on Google+. Anyway, I'm just trying to get his question here. Oh, I see. He's picked some big brands and pointed out how they're dealing with different languages. At the bottom he says both languages use the same country subdirectory /CA, but a different index language PHP will be loaded. So both language versions are reachable via the same URL subdirectory. However, the actual subdirectories are named differently. Hang on, how does that work? Every index lang.php gets its own XML sitemap for search engines. Actually, I can't see this. This is a href lang question, guys, and I don't think either of those is right. What do you guys think?
I mean, as far as the structure is concerned, it doesn't matter. It's what you prefer to do. Whether you have country subdirectory first and then language, or you have country _ language, I think that's really up to you, what you prefer to do. The important thing, as Jim mentioned, is to use hreflang to point the equivalents in different language and different locations, so that they would be substituted in the search results. So if, for example, someone's, let's say, a French-speaking Belgian is looking for information, then everything's pointed that way. So for that person, the French page for Belgium appears in the search results.
Yeah.
And it sounds as if that he has, in this case, has different localized pages for different markets. And the structures are mirrored. So you might have a domain name /country /subdirectory, so subdirectory 2 / and then further content there. And it sounds as if that the second level subdirectory has different names, so they have localized versions. So instead of that sharing the same name, as it were,
yeah,
obviously need to be different because sorry, I didn't think.
No, you're right.
This is going to be different. Obviously, it has to be different because you can have two subdirectories with the same name, essentially. So yeah, so that it should be fine. However he structures the site, that's fine, so long as if there are equivalent pages in different languages for different locales, then they are pointed in hreflang.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely the strategy to employ is hreflang. You'd agree with that. Look, the other thing I'd point out, Alexander, is that giving these language pages their own XML sitemap for search engines, complete waste of time. That doesn't matter. I mean, Googlebot will not be able to get an idea of your page from you going to the trouble of making separate sitemaps. Definitely you should be using hreflang on the page. It's very difficult to get right. For every page that includes an hreflang link, you have to have a page, and that page always has to have a corresponding page, like a primary page. Anyway, are we all done with this one? Okay, the gavel came down, and this question is from our good friend Chase Rayner. Chase says, does anyone know if the schema creative work element does anything? I see people ranking well in Google who are using it.
Well, I think you're kind of assuming that because they've got this on their site that they're ranking for it, which I think is wrong.
Yeah, the causation issue.
Yeah.
And creative work is the really broad one, isn't it? Anything can be a creative work, can't it?
In all honesty, yeah, I don't think it's that. But if you have the opportunity, or it makes sense to add it, then yeah, sure. If you want to add it, then it's a good fit, then yeah, you can do it. But
I've never seen it showing up in the wild. I mean, what is this? I mean, the creative tag is multiple tags, but what is it focused? Well, what is Google going to use it for to display?
I don't think it's going to be used in the search results. Unless, do they still use news article sometimes?
Draw your attention to Edwin Young's answer in the community through the week.
Yeah, because creative work is, I mean, article is part of creative work, isn't it?
So, like here, it says books, movies, photographs, software programs, etc.
Yeah, I mean, creative work is the if you like, the umbrella term. So it includes article, blog, book, etc., etc.
All right. So let's move on from here. I'll tweet that. Good to hear from you, Chase. Okay, our next is a question from Malakajuna S. I thought that was marijuana for a second. Not getting ranked for exact domain name. Malakajuna said, hello everyone. Can you help me with this? One of my websites is not getting ranked for the exact domain name. Also, except except that the website, all of the other pages on the website, like social pages, are showing in the search engine results page. My website is nurturencesmartschool.com. And even if I search for Nurturance Smart School and Nurturance Smart School with spaces, these keywords, for these keywords, my website is not showing anywhere. I did search engine submissions for each of these pages as well. All suggestions are appreciated. Thanks. I see Dave Elliott, one of our forum heroes, was on the job for this one, and he noticed that there was a canonical tag on the non-www URL, which then redirects to the www version of the URL.
Yeah, I was just doing a quick Google search for that and came up with all of the Facebook and other social profiles like explained, but nothing with the master domain. I also utilized the name itself, Smart School, and then also the variation of the city, or sorry, the state that they're in, the country, and still nothing on that one. So curious to find out what SEM Rush has to say about it. I'm gonna run a quick scan on it real quick. I'll be back.
Okay, I'm just talking to David Roseanne. Won't be a second. All right. I think William and Dave have answered Malakajuna. Let's move on to the next. All right. Andres Philippe Echevarria Haneo asks a question titled "Mobile pages are indexed in desktop search engine results pages." Andres said, "Hi guys, I hope you are doing well. I have started to see that my M.dot site pages are being indexed in the desktop search engine result pages. Is this okay?" I see Dave Elliott jumped in and provided a link for Andres. I've seen that before too, Andres. I don't know. I guess it's just Googlebot getting things sorted out. If your links between the mobile site and the main site are set up properly, and the redirection is taking place properly, I think it would settle out. One thing I've found with the M.dot sites is that they tend to be authoritative for a different set of keywords, slightly different to the main site. So they're not cannibalizing the main site. They're actually like the cream on top, if you like.
Yeah, I think once a canonical tag is set up, it should be fine. That way the engine knows. It should drop those out of the desktop first.
Well, we're saved. David Rosam has arrived.
Yes, I've been trying to get on for about the past, I don't know how long, an hour and a quarter.
David is about 500 years old, and he's been an SEO for about that length of time. You can find David at writingforseo.org and also in the bottom part of England, or at least, did you leave the UK? No, sorry, did the UK leave you? Or what's going on with this Brexit thing?
I don't know. I'll ask Tim Capper. He's the man for Brexit. I've still got my super glue out, keeping the UK in place in Europe.
You'll have to move to Scotland for that, apparently, David.
Apparently so, yeah. Yes.
Or Wales, maybe?
Yes. Oh. I don't know. Maybe I'll emigrate to Australia, where everyone has swimming pools, so I hear.
Well, I have one. There are a lot here. Yes, there are plenty of swimming pools in Australia. Of course, we have something that you guys don't have. It's called sunshine.
Sunshine? I'm sure we had that a few years ago.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, I'm sure we were answering a question before I popped up and caused interruption.
We're talking about mobile websites, and Andres is seeing his MDOT site appearing in searches where he's like in the desktop search.
I think that Dave Elliott's answer looks good to me.
Yes, it does.
Oh, good. So I get a big chicken of VG for that, do I? The gold star.
God, I'm no judge, mate. What's this 1976?
It's the last time we had sun.
Oh, right. All right, let's move on to the next. We are dealing with question 12 on your run list. This was one from Venoth Sentil, and Venoth said, my YouTube channel income has been stopped. Venoth said, hi, my YouTube... Oh, he said that, yes. It shows the error in the monetization only. I have original content, so why has it been stopped? Can anyone please suggest some help?
Well, what happens when
Sorry, excuse me.
what happens when he tries to log into his AdSense account, assuming that he's monetizing his YouTube account with AdSense? You know, the status of his account should be made clear on his AdSense dashboard.
Ah, yes, it would be, wouldn't it? I had a look at it. Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Tucky, but go ahead.
If he can still log in, then there should be a notification if there are any issues. If he can't log in and if it says, you know, the account has been terminated, then that's that, really. Anyway, you're going to say something.
I had a look at Venoth's website. It's built in WordPress. It's a very, very nice site. Heaps of good content. like if his website's any gauge, Google should be glad to have him. I did have a look through, and ads are displaying on his clips. Whatever he's doing is not so bad that YouTube doesn't want to display ads. It's just an issue of sending revenue. Oh, look, we've lost David Rozam. All right. Can we answer any more on this?
I'd say also I was looking at the YouTube channel. It looks like there's a lot of good information there. As long as it's his information that he's building all those videos, or the company is building all those, it might be that he might have gotten hit by a copyright deal, and that's where his income from YouTube might have been depreciated a little bit. But it looks like great information.
Yeah, well, one of his clips on his personal account, like I clicked the link because he said, this is my YouTube channel, and I didn't see that just prior to that he'd added a link to a YouTube channel, Cinema Plus News. Mm-hmm. And so I thought that he meant that his YouTube channel was his own site, so I clicked the YouTube link on his profile. There's only 2 clips there, and one of them is displaying a copyright notice. I wonder if YouTube carries over. I mean, if he's associated with his own account by being that being part of his profile, and if he has a copyright issue on his profile, I wonder if his channel in the name of Cinema Plus News, because it's associated with his profile account, I wonder if that's why. Because you can't have any copyright issues for AdSense. Anyway, Vinoth, good luck with that. Always interested to hear about it, and please let us know if there are any new developments. Okay, Atish Hamid asked the question, the rank brain algorithm. He said the rank brain algorithm. Many websites have posted many theories behind this or about this. Some say it impacts rankings and some don't. In Google Hangouts, John Mueller says not to worry about the algorithm. Some official posts and experts are saying to be prepared as and when it rolls out. Can any of you pundits, see, he's calling you pundits, give a simple explanation on what it is, and have any of you changed your SEO strategy accordingly? I pointed Atish to AJ Cohn's brilliant article on RankBrain, yep. Which was in the news last week. David Rozam thinks it's a good article.
Yeah, I think that I think it's a good article. It deserves to be read by Atish. The thing is, here now, isn't it? So it's not a future thing; it's a now thing. And I haven't changed anything I'm doing at all because I'm basically in agreement with your friend AJ.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't actually adjusted anything that I'm doing for any of my clients. You know, focus on RankBrain. I mean, it's basically going to be, I think, and everybody's a theory, but I think it's just another part of getting machine learning a little bit more correct, easier to collect the data and filter through it. So it's another tool for AI to use and help you to be found faster for relevant content.
I think it's another hoax like the link disavowal tool. All right.
Never know, sir.
Let's move on to the next. Oh, did I tweet that or not? I'll try. No, I didn't. That's good. I checked. All right. Our next is. All right. We've covered all of our questions today. All of the questions posted on the SEO Questions community on Google Plus this week have been answered. Well done, guys. Thank you very much. And now we move on to our weekly SEO News Roundup. This is where items of SEO news are posted on the SEO News community on Google+. And then we meet here at the end of our question time to talk about them. First one was posted by David Rozam, Google to test your internet speed on demand. This is not to suggest that Google has been taking amphetamines. I see David has his joke book out.
I thought, no, there's an unintended meaning perhaps there. So I thought I'd dig myself out of said hole. It seems that they're going to be doing spot checks on site speed. I think that's what it comes down to. And yes, it's yet more evidence that you need to be on a decent host. You need to have your code tweaked nicely. You need to have your images suitably swashed, and maybe optimized would be a better word, but I like swashed. Yes, that's probably about it. And it's something that Google has been bashing on about increasingly. So I think it's yet another sign that we should be taking note of it.
Yep. William Rock put in the chat that on RankBrain there is a link to a good podcast from Search Talk Live, and it's www.spreaker.com/tag/RankBrain. By the way, there was a great recording on Search Talk Live this week with SEMrush's Olga Andrienko. And I was very impressed with the methodical way she's gone about working or managing SEMrush's social media. Very impressed. It was a great chat. In fact, I listened to it, but I had a couple of phone calls in between, as you do, and so I'm going to go back and listen again. Not much gets my attention, but this one did. David Rozam suggests that Google has been taking amphetamines. I was wondering, where would I get the rights to the sewerage coming out of Mountain View? I mean, I reckon I'd make a quid refining out just what they spill. Anyway, let's move on to the next. Let me tweet that one first. Oh, here we are. Speaking of the devil, this is the SEMrush chat I was talking about. So if you'd like a link to that, I forgot I'd put this in. If you'd like a link to this excellent Search Talk Live podcast, you'll find it on the SEO News community on Google+. Did anybody else have a listen?
No.
It's actually on my playlist in the morning to listen to, but I actually shared it out there, but I didn't have a chance to take a look at it. But definitely smart lady.
All right. Well, I recommend it. I did listen to it, and there's a lot to learn. Also, you can see, you can track the history of SEMrush in social media from what Olga said. And anyway, that's that. Next one, Google restricts keyword planner access. I didn't tweet that, damn it.
Yeah, there's been lots of toing and froing over this story this week. I think the bottom line was that in fact Google came up with an excuse worthy of a politician that said something like that they weren't actually restricting it. It was some kind of bug in their systems, and in fact it's just like it was before, that you have to have an account, but you don't have to have anything running. I think that's the latest, but I may not have got the latest one. It kept turning up on my RSS feeds all week.
Yeah, I heard it was a bug as well, but you still have to have a login. So when you go to the page for the keyword planner, you still have to click and sign in. And so I already have a AdWords account, so I just log right in, but haven't been able to test it otherwise.
No, I've got accounts running as well. So unless I've got an account I've forgotten about, I can't actually test it. For the same reason.
But it is getting better. That keyword planner is very accurate. Loving it, you know. So, considering how many years do you think we've been using the keyword planner, or not planner, but before it was the keyword search query tool? So you just Google search for that one. But throughout the years, it's definitely improved.
But there's another story coming up down the line that I posted that has a different view on this.
Curious.
I think Jim's gone to sleep.
No, I'm just rapidly typing something, and I'll be right back.
Hey Tim, what was your thoughts on that tool?
Well, now you can access with obviously an account, but it doesn't have to be like active. So they've done a little bit of a reverse on that. The other bit is they've lumped all the total searches together. So
Yeah.
SEO, search engine optimization with a Z, search engine optimization with an S. You know, it's all lumped together in the same sort of query volume. So my take on this is Google needs to up their revenue. So they thought, bollocks, we'll take away any meaningful data, lump it all into
more time and more money perfecting your adverts campaigns. Yeah.
Didn't they also exact match data? Yeah. I thought I read an article where they were saying they were getting rid of
they've lumped everything together.
Okay.
So a word like online casino, let's say, for example, 1,000 search queries a month volume, but online casino together, they'll still say 1,000. Online casinos will still give you 1,000. Online hyphen casinos will still give you 1,000. Every freaking query related to that, they're not segmenting it anymore. It just gives you the overall tops value. So one might give you 1,000, and beforehand one might say 1,000. One misspelt one might have beforehand said to you only 50, but now it's showing 1,000. It's all just showing you the top line. So there's no freaking point, you know. I mean, like, you know, I think it's, I don't think it's good, because, you know, a small business is going to, you know, they're not going to make an educated campaign based on certain things. Yes, when the campaign is running, they'll obviously see that my keyword online casinos together, which the keyword planner told me 1,000, is only actually been clicked on once this entire month. So, you know, in theory, they will, you know, obviously stop running that. But, you know, until then, you know, it's naughty, really. I mean, how is a small business, you know, put the SEOs aside, you know, put them all aside. There's probably more businesses running their own AdWords and trying to run them effectively without AdWord managers and, you know, SEOs involved in their business than there are. And I just don't know what the game plan is here. It's a bit sneaky.
Well, it could backfire, of course, which is that typically I find that many small businesses are already at a stage where they're struggling to make their AdWords campaigns profitable. You know, at what stage do they say, no, we ain't going to spend any more money with Google? They're quite big enough. They make quite enough money, and I'm not going to give you any more mine. And you know, it may happen earlier on. It may get to that stage of we throw more money down the drain when we're willing to.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree. If you aren't open and transparent and able to say this particular keyword gets X amount of potential searches, and then they can either use, you know, exact keyword, or they can use it as phrase, or they can use it as you know, bulk. If you're not giving them that opportunity, they're ultimately just going to say, sod it, or, you know, potentially even reduce their budgets, because they can't make an educated decision without that information. And no business, you know, no business takes a flying leap in, you know, yeah. You know, Google has, this has done before many times, the law of unintended consequences. They've done it many times before, and it's bit them on the arse horrendously. You know, Penguin, for example, bit them on the arse, and it's still biting them on the arse. So occasionally, sort of, yeah, I think it's a little naughty. You know, you're making a fair bit. You know, you're moving into local, you're monetizing local now. That is going to, you know, big time bring you in gazillions. So, you know, at least allow people to make educated, flaming decisions.
Yes, Google is not acting gracefully, that's for sure. All right, I'm getting an echo now. All right, let me move on to the next. Did I tweet this one? Yes, I did. Our next, this is our rant section of the SEO News Weekly Roundup. This is Google Maps has lost the spam war, an article by Tim Capper. William Rock says in the chat that it's a great article.
I loved it. I'm wondering to know how we can fix that part, but you know, based in Tim's explanation in the article, kind of hard to get, especially when you start talking about the paid reviews that are positive, right, Tim?
Listen, you know, they've lost it. You know,
I just saw one of those recently.
You know, they're relying on a community to make these edits, where two things: they are putting more trust in a community than the actual verified business owner. Big mistake. They put more trust in a community to make the edits when, yeah, their review policy, yeah, all their policies are just completely balked. A fake good review won't be removed if they can't find a connection to, obviously, a spammer. Even if you tell them, I created that fake review, they still don't remove it. So a negative review that's fake, that's created by an unattributable account, it will never be removed. Even if you tell them I created that. It's a bit of a mess. I do believe they are trying to bring in like a third tier verification because this is getting so out of control. But that would only be for verified businesses. That would not be for all the other spam created on Google, on MapMaker. That's another issue completely in itself. Yeah, it's crazy. You know, Google has this weird reliance on third-party information over a verified business's information or edits, which makes no sense. Yes, you do get spammers which do have verified businesses, but, and obviously I have no access to the stats, but I'm going to assume that the percentage, well, we know for a fact that 80% of businesses are not even verified. So the minority of, let's say, the 20% of verified businesses that actually either phone you up with an issue or try to make an edit to their page, being roughshod and overridden by a community edit is unfathomable.
Well, you make a good point about that. You know, when you start to look at the same thing of taking the radius past. I'm hearing you echo this time, but okay. So with the verified though, you shouldn't be able to have, like you said, the community shouldn't be able to edit that unless it's something that needs to go through a different type of review process, because they don't get a notification to when you uploaded an image or you made a change to maybe their store hours. You know? Whereas the ones that are not verified, they wouldn't know anyways. But at the same time, I think that's where a lot of the spam is coming too. I mean, if I can just upload an image, you know, you posted that on the article, which is basically those, you know, this is not a real profile of an image. So, you know, how do they stop that? And that's, I think, the next level they have to work through. Otherwise, it's going to go completely out.
The image one, you know, the image is going to happen. There's literally, I don't know how they would even police that. I think that's just Off the top of my head, if it was added via a mobile, then that mobile, off the top of my head, if you're going to post it, then off the top of my head, the user has to have opted in to share the location, and then they would actually be able to tell if that location matches the geo of that business page. That would be my first one. If it was added via desktop, I suppose, is the IP even in the same radius? That would be far easier to so. But images is going to be a tough one. I'd far rather let them get a handle on their policies, and who, when, and where can actually make any changes to a business page. It's out of control. It's just literally insanely out of control.
And I've tried a couple of tests with the metadata of my smartphone. Like, for example, I was at a fire station, and I had added that fire station, but I needed to actually add the telephone number. While I was there, I was talking to the firefighters and saying, hey, I added the pictures to your profile. It's on map now, but I'm missing your website address and your telephone number to the station. And so as soon as I added that right then and there, I got that publish message from MapMaker. So I'm wondering if that was pulling that GPS data, saying, hey, he's at that one location, and making this edit now go through with the publish. Because that was not even like, I pushed the number up there, and it was probably 2 or 3 minutes later where I got it published.
Yeah, but that happens with local guides if you're in your area. Okay. Yeah, that happens. But I mean, even so, local guides, you see, there's an issue there. I mean, we suspended a local guide last week for absolute image spam on a monumental level.
Wow.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, because, hey, local guides is so simple, anyone that's got maps, boom, bish, bosh, off you go on your mobile phone. And then, of course, as your levels build up, so does your level of trust, except this guy had been spamming the images from day one up to the value of 8,000 points, which was 8,000 spam images on businesses across his entire state. So, yeah, that trust thing, you see, that's the whole crux of the failing, in the sense that if you make an edit and you make another edit and that gets approved, and then you start getting spammy and scammy, and your dodgy edits get approved instantly, then Google starts believing the editors with the higher amount of edits, even though it's been scammed, over a business who says no. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If a business is verified and he says my store's open, and some idiot keeps closing it, and that keeps being accepted by Google, there's a problem.
Well, the other thing would be competitors. If that's capable of a local guide doing that, that's gone rogue, what's going on with the actual competitor that says, oh, I'm just going to go up and change Tim's map listing to permanently closed, or duplicate.
Yeah. Change my website, change my phone number, even hijack the page.
Well, those images that you were showing in your example in the article, Tim, you would imagine, going back to the GPS data from the image, say, for example, if I went out and I just took a picture of Taco Bell tomorrow, right? I'm there, I'm taking a picture of Taco Bell on my phone, I've got the metadata from the location. But when I go back and I edit it maybe in Photoshop, it strips out that data. Or if they've built that image that has the spam marked on there, or whatever it is, Google should be able to tell that data is missing, and have some type of flag system that says, before you upload or publish this, it goes up, but it publishes into a different queue that people on the MapMaker can look at for second verification. But the images don't get second verification, do they?
Yeah, but hang on. But Google is pulling images from the web now.
Yes, they
So
are.
even if I just loaded it onto my own Google Plus page, and add the location. So if I add my image to my own Google Plus page, right? It's got no geodata in it because it's a Photoshop.
Mhm.
And then in my image, I go onto the maps and add the location to that. Hey presto, my image is still going to appear in that business.
Yeah.
There is.
Well, look at mine. I'm almost to 1,000 images of businesses, right? But I've taken and uploaded almost 2,000 images. So, but what I'm looking for is completely different. I'm looking for an entire shopping area that things are missing or added to the map that shouldn't be there anymore. Businesses open and close all the time, so you never know what you're going to find in a shopping center. But each one of those images have been uploaded because most of them they didn't have any images. It's amazing how many people don't even take a picture of their store. So that's a different subject, different time.
Well, 80% of businesses are unverified, so. And of course, there's another issue now because there's mappers going around. I know they're in the UK. I know they're in the US. They don't have. Obviously, it's all subcontracted. They say they're working with Google. They don't have proper IDs. I'm getting tons of emails saying, "Are these guys legit?" Because I've just phoned the police.
You're getting those in the forum, huh? In the Google My Business.
All over, mate. I'm getting people just email me privately, directly. Even businesses phoning me. They've obviously done a quick Google search and seen one of my articles on Google scams, and they're just picking up the phone, and I'm like, oh, man, Yeah, and they're quite right. If you're not presenting a proper ID, phone the cops. Don't take it for. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's like me, I go to a business in the mornings, Saturday and Sunday, and take pictures. So they say, pull out the cell phone, and what am I doing? Taking a picture. So I would imagine somebody would be kind of bizarred by that. I've seen plenty of looks, and I got a picture of McDonald's in the drive-thru, and the people actually were saying, "Hey, guy outside with the camera, can we help you?"
Yeah. People are freaked out. And if you walk into a business now, as these mappers are doing, and they walk into the business, and offer to help them get their business page verified and get images on, and these businesses are like, and they don't even have proper ID. They've just got a stupid little laminated card with a G on. It's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah. That's
it's
why
like
chambers.
Phone the cops. I'm not letting someone come into my business taking weird photos. Get out.
Well, see, that's yeah.
You don't know what they're doing. You can walk into a jewelry store, take images, take pictures of where all the CCTV is, all the security systems, and then the next week you're like, oh, thank you, Google, and actually it wasn't Google and you were broken into.
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah, you gotta be,
And everybody takes pictures in their shots. So they'll have people in the hallway or the aisleway, and they're taking a picture of the aisleway, and there's people in there. Like all my pictures, I don't take pictures with people in the shot primarily, or I'll try to get away from not having a license plate or anything like that in the shot. But there's a lot of people are just putting pictures up, and that's why I wrote the tutorial for having it through Google Photos. When your phone uploads it to Google Photos. But yeah, just walking into a store and then telling them that you can set that up, that's kind of trying to bait business. I'm looking for it as an opportunity to teach Chamber of Commerce's here Every business that's inside your chamber, why don't you guys just give them a postcard? When they get back to that office, just check your listing. Does it say claim this business? If it does, walk through the steps. And that fixes that 80%, pretty quick. Then we don't have to worry about the people that are not verified, and then going back to your multiple verification process. Now they're all verified. Now what that education piece is passed. Now let's talk about monitoring your images and gaining control so it doesn't change your telephone number or your website address to mine because I'm a competitor. I think it's coming. I think we're finding all these things and we're documenting them and giving the feedback. And the only thing I hope is that Google will take that feedback and use it, to make a better system. which I'm deflecting to your comment at the very bottom of your
book. You have got way too much trust in Google's apparent abilities to cock things up.
I have to try.
Jesus. Are they paying you, mate? Because I'm not getting paid.
Again, volunteer. Even almost 1,000 pictures. That's all volunteer, but I'm doing it more for an education piece for myself to learn. Okay, yeah, we all talk about 80%, but is it really 80%? And I was going back to my map.
It's probably like 90 actually.
Heavy. Just from the area that I've mapped, I save when I add something and I see it claim this listing or claim this business listing, I'll star it. I'll save it in my maps. And so now I'm looking at this map that's completely starred up. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of companies that are not verified. And I even went back and double checked on my stars thinking, well, maybe I missed these. And maybe it was just an edit that I was needing to go back and do. But at the same time, I was like, wow, there it is, claim this business. So I'm going to try to put together exactly all of that into a PowerPoint deck to help with the education of these small business owners in the city. Who knows? But I'm not getting paid for it. I get stuff like this, but
More than they send me, man.
Well, I got those down at the TC Summit. My little robot. You always see the robots. Anyhow, other than that, basically it's just education because I want to try to do whatever I can do to better the business and try to get past that 80% mark. And reduce it to 60, right? That's the goal. It has to be. Somebody's got to be thinking about it, right?
Well, yeah, certainly. I started my own little verify your business last year for my local community, but it's hard going when these people think it's Google magic, especially when for 10 years Google scraped sites and auto-generated businesses. It's their own, it was their own undoing. Also, the naming of it. We'll get there. We will get there. Problem is, and not a lot of businesses Google their own bloody name. If they did, they would probably wonder, oh, what's this? Claim this, yeah.
But people that are traveling to that business are. You get off an airplane and you're meeting a company and you type it into maps and nothing shows up. You're like, huh. Or you get lost because they're actually, they just move locations, so you just move.
Yeah, but that's Google's. That was Google's fault. That's not the business's fault.
Well, if they don't have the correct information on the internet.
Well, if Google scraped that originally and auto-generated it, they created it, not the business. They did, right? So then they relied on community edits to to try and provide valid data. Well, we've already established how that doesn't work.
Mm.
There needs to be a more cohesive push from Google themselves to actually sort of for businesses to claim it and verify it. That, I mean, I don't know. Spend a couple of hundred million and do some TV ads for businesses. That will probably end up with a shed load being claimed, verified, tidied up, and your data will be accurate.
Yeah.
Because they'll be tidying up the scraping that you created in the first place.
But who watches TV anymore?
Oh, mate, or do some ads or something. But literally creating a small business community who just copy and paste rubbish all over the place, not actually.
Well, you see it a lot more, Tim, though, than a lot of us, because you're actually in the forums for Google My Business, and you get to see all the people saying, "Hey, I changed. Somebody keeps changing my telephone number," and when you see it time, it's kind of numbing.
Not even actually someone changing it. If you look into MapMaker and you see the actual who did the edit or approved the edit, it was in GMB it's Annabot. So she did it based upon third-party external data, which winds me up, because not only are you relying on a community edit, but you're also relying on third-party data, which may be equally incorrect or corrupt as the community edits. I think, look, there's a lot of things to correct, but I would say that if you actually got the businesses aware that you can claim this business or create one, okay, and don't rely on local guides. I mean, I'm talking put a bit of money into this, because you're monetizing local now, you're monetizing GMB, so you're making money. Don't claim this as a free product now. I mean, you're making some money here, yeah? So actually, don't rely on free and local guides in this. Actually put a bit of bucks into this and get them starting to either verify and update, and then your data is going to be correct. You're going to start having verified stuff and start trusting those businesses that are verified with their data. Stop relying on third-party rubbish and community edits. If there's a community edit made to a business, that should not be, that should be physically verified by someone. And it obviously goes into your dashboard if you're a verified business. If that edit hasn't been logged into for, let's say, let's give it a time limit. If it hasn't been logged to in sort of 2 months for the owner to approve that edit or deny that edit, then you can say, okay, the community is correct, and approve the edit. But you kind of need to put some form of structure in place, and not just because some guy has got, a couple of thousand points or has made a couple of thousand MapMaker edits, or whatever the case may be, that you kind of just close his business or change his hours or change his pin marker location, which then if he's actually using HasMap and geocoordinates in his schema, completely cocks up all of his NAP citations in one fell swoop, because you relied on a community to slightly move a pin number, a pin marker. You've cocked that all up. They just don't see the big.
Quick question on the pin marker, because basically you see this, randomly you'll see that pin marker all the way out in the street, and not actually at the building itself. Would that also mess up the schema?
Yeah, if they've got schema on their website and they've used the geocoordinates and HasMap, you've just cocked up their NAP.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, yeah, all fair and well. I know it's like, well, put the pin marker there. Yeah, fair dues. I mean, look, put it this way. If they haven't claimed their business and the pin marker's in the middle of the street or just to the left or wherever, I seriously doubt they've implemented structured data onto their website. But if they had, you've just cocked it up.
But going back to that verified listing, if that person's verified listing, and they're more than likely going to be verified if they're using schema and doing that geolocation coordinates, but
you can still cock it up. I mean, literally, because of that bug a couple months back, we even had to cock it up ourselves. Because when there was that bug and pretty much every knowledge panel on the face of the planet disappeared, the only way to get it appearing back was to jiggle your pin marker. So unless you actually used the geo coordinates to reposition it exactly to your geo coordinates that you had in your schema before, you cocked it up anyway.
Wow. Well, see, that goes back to getting a notification back to that verified business. I mean, that would be somebody in the community move that.
Well, you do get notifications in your dashboard. When you log into your dashboard, at the top of it, you get a yellow line saying there were some changes to your business details.
Okay.
And then if you're in mobile, it will actually give you a different color, and then you can scroll down to where the section's in a different color. Or if you're in desktop, you can scroll down and it will give a little mark next to the category or the section that was edited. So whether it be hours, description, or whatever, and then you can see what the difference is, and then you can either approve or not.
Yep, I've seen that recently. Okay.
But
I haven't seen it on when I move a map, because I've moved a map marker on an unlisted or an unverified business and put it back into where it needed to go. But it was clear off in the road before. So.
Yeah.
Anyhow, good stuff.
Okay.
Good chat.
Yeah, there's a lot to do. It'll get there one day.
All right. Let's go on to the next. I think this might be our last. Oh no, I think there's two more. Was there a Panda update in June? Asks David Rozan.
Well, the article references someone who maintains that there was. I'm not convinced from my small sample of data. I wondered about the rest of you.
Well, I noticed that the dumb SEO Questions site took a big drop about the middle of this month. But that could be anything.
Yeah, I saw some drops earlier in the month. They weren't particularly big, and it looks to me that they've come back again. So I put that down to just general Google wavering that we see most months. So yeah, I think the thing. Sorry. Yeah. Go on.
Well, normally I basically look at Panda algorithm updates all the time, and I've really kind of stopped because really it's doing what it needs to do. You know, since 2011, there's been a ton of gigantic changes going forward, and it's really, I feel, improved a lot of the search data. But at the same time, it's going to always change. I mean, you go back to rank brain, you got all these different core algorithm changes are always going on. So it's hard to tell, was it Panda or was it not? And then everybody's talking about coming out of, it's going to take 4 more months until they update the Penguin or Panda again. And it has to be a manual push. But at the same time, that's just new data, new queries that they're doing to fix it up a little bit. But at the same time, it's still running, I believe. I mean, you can see it when you make a change, even to your, a landing page that okay, well, that quality is not that great. I can improve it, and you do improve it, and you start to see in your search console that there's more queries being tested against it. So I think I just haven't really been studying the algorithm as much anymore because it does really much what it needs to do, and it's going to continue to grow and evolve and get smarter. Don't get me wrong there, but to focus on, I just lost all my rank for that, it might have just been something else you did, like, what change did you make inside your website last week, or did you annotate in your Google Analytics that there was an update to the WordPress software update? Maybe something went wonky with your plugins. So maybe not just Google stuff. It might be something on page that's really kind of affecting your rankings to drop suddenly. So it's kind of hard to tell until you figure out, going back to that website audit, what did you do? And then keeping up with what we always do is like, the forums. What do they have out there to say? A whole bunch of people actually say, hey, I just lost all my ranking, or is it just kind of a hit and miss one-off here and there? But I love Panda. Panda is one of my favorite algorithms.
I don't know. I like Penguin. I think they're cute.
Penguin's cute, but deadly.
William, are you at the summit in September?
Yes, the meetup.
Yeah. Cool. Because our mission, if you choose to accept this, is we need to get a dead penguin in some images around the Googleplex, appearing in Street View for Jim.
Oh, that would. Why not get one in the actual road on Google Lane or whatever it is?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We'll do it.
Say that again.
We're doing it for you, Jim. You so want a dead penguin in Street View on the Googleplex. We're going to do it for you in September.
Well, I mean, I've been trying to get one up there for years. As soon as I realised that penguin had died. By the time you get one up there, it'll be old news.
Okay, well, we'll get a freaking penguin cross platypus or something in there for you. We'll get everything with a P in there for you, mate. We'll hedge our bets.
Well, see, Penguin's done a great job in cleaning up that index as well. There was a lot of link toxic stuff that was out there, and now it's good because I think education's out there for some of these new marketers that are coming aboard and saying, oh no, different types of links, not just going out and grabbing directories or, yeah, I'm going to go buy this PR7 for $100 a month type stuff, and actually get them to focus on the real stuff of visitor experience. What are you trying to sell? Are you selling it? Are you converting? What else can you do to fine tune? Stuff like that. In fact, on my profile, I do have Panda plus penguins equals quality results. I think that's what I have still my graphic on my Google Plus page.
All right. Let me click this button. I'll tweet this one first. And I'll click this button, and we've still got one to go. We've actually discussed this. Tim spoke about it at length when we were talking about the other article on Google's Keyword Planner. But anyway, we have this one here. Google continues to make it harder for us, says David Razam. Will this make it harder to get the results we want from AdWords?
Yeah, it's as Tim said earlier. It's we're going to be going about in the wilderness with a dodgy compass. You know, how can we get to the end? How can we get to where we want to with dodgy directions? So we'll get there eventually, but we'll waste a lot of time and money doing so, and Google will say, yes, ka-ching! Thank you very much.
Well, yeah, I think it's hubris, extreme hubris, and I'd say the thing is that the average age of a Googler is 29. I don't think they've lived long enough to realise that nemesis follows hubris, and yeah, we'll see. Let's hope they come to their senses before. I mean, we've been through the period of Alta Vista, or at least I haven't. I'm not old enough, but you would have, David.
Is that Victorian search engine?
The Victorian ones ask Jeeves.
Sorry, Masataki?
No, the Victorian one is Ask Jeeves.
No, I still didn't get it.
No, I didn't.
Jeeves Butler?
Hello?
All right, okay, let's click this button here. And, yep, it's that time again. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry, more eyeballs jumped on just to watch us just then, just at the time that we're finishing. Thank you very much for your interest. Your interest and your participation makes what we do worthwhile. We'll be back at the same time next week to do this all again. But for now, it's good night.